On Blues Radio International, it's Jesse and Audrey continuing our viral, antiviral world tour. Our next stop, beautiful Wilton Manors and the home of Albert Castiglia, Blues Music Award winner for 2020. How are you, Albert?
Hey, Albert.
Excellent. Hi, guys.
Hey.
It's great to see you.
Good to see you,
Very
man.
good.
So congratulations. This is quite an event and in a category that has a lot of very substantial competition.
I was quite surprised. I thought, I thought I might have had a chance at the album, but it was still, I really didn't think I was going to win. And then Barbara Newman did such a great job putting the virtual show together, and then I started to think I had a chance when they had played Walter's performance and then Luther's. Or I think it was the other way around, Luther Dickinson's performance and then Walter's performance. And then they announced the nominees for the two blues rock categories. I think, well, that's odd. I submitted my performance and they didn't play it yet. That's kind of odd. And then they announced the Blues Rock Artist of the Year, and Eric won it, which I had no doubt he was going to win it. He's my favorite guitar player alive. My favorite living guitar player. And I said, oh, okay. Well, let's see what happens, And then boom, it happened, and I was like, wow. And it blew my mind.
So you didn't know? You had no idea?
No, I had no idea. And, the funny thing is that I believe the people at the Blues Foundation knew. Because I think I sent Barbara a thank you letter. I think Barbara Newman is the best president the Blues Foundation's ever had, quite frankly. I really love what she's done, and I hate to see her go. But I understand the pressures of the job of fundraising and stuff, and I wish her well. But she was awesome, and so that was part of what made winning the award so special. Is it was her last one going out, and so I sent her a message. I thanked her for everything, and she kind of implied that they had known about it for a while, like since March, they had known the results. So boy, those guys they know how to keep a secret.
They do, and it was a great award ceremony. I feel badly that we weren't all there to cheer you in person on stage. On the other hand, it's memorialized for all time in a truly historic event that had a worldwide reach. So congratulations again.
It's a very unique, thank you. It was a very unique way of doing it. And I hope we don't have to do that again. But hey, the upside was I saved a lot of money. I didn't have to go to Memphis. I saved a lot of money. And it was the fact that we had to do it this way didn't make it any less special for me. I thought it was just, I was over the moon. I'm just as happy as if it was held in front of a bunch of people and at the convention center.
It was held in front of the largest group of people that's ever seen the Blues Music Awards, and what a place to be seen.
Absolutely.
But I hear the world screaming in my ear, when is Albert going to play something? He's holding a guitar. What would you
say any such thing? Is there a song in particular you want me to do?
I don't know. What strikes you as the right song to play, given where we are? I mean, I will say this, that the last time we were together and you were on the show, we were facing imminent death as well. It was during Hurricane Dorian. We have this ability to be together during these cataclysmic events, and you always bring a level of peace and a level of chaos to those situations.
So I should do something very soothing.
And chaotic.
Let's try. Well, let me tell you. After I won the award, one of the first things I did was call my daughter, because she inspired the whole album and the way it came out. So I guess we should do Masterpiece first. I'll probably do more than 3, Jesse. I'll probably do 4. Maybe I'll do 4.
I sure hope so.
So this is not the chaotic song that you wanted, but I'll figure out. I have a chaotic song for you after this one. But this one's Masterpiece. Let's see, I haven't played this one in a while. I'm very rusty. So let's see. I'm very rusty. So let's see. My greatest work came way before my prime. Way back when, back in 1989. I went downhill to say the least. You are my masterpiece. I loved you way before I ever knew. I wished I could have been around for you. Joy always sad to say the least. You are my masterpiece. Parallel life with an angel. Life's a trip, I must say. Better late than never. Now I'm yours forever. Now I'm never going away. I come to focus on what's gained and what was lost. And in the end, the future's worth more than the cost. My hold on you won't be released. You are my masterpiece. I've written songs of love and hate and circumstance. I've done it many times before. Just when I was thinking I had nothing left to say, you come walking through the door. The puzzle of my life is now complete, and life for me has never been more sweet. My love for you will never cease. You are my masterpiece. You are my masterpiece. You are my masterpiece. You are my masterpiece. All right. Thank you.
You move people very deeply with all of your music, Albert.
Thanks.
What's it like to have reached this point in your career? You're at, an upward trajectory that's fantastic with the album, with the Blues Music Award, everything that's going on with the bookings. And then all of a sudden, everything comes to a full stop with this. Mm-hmm. What's that like, and how does that feel?
Well, I come from a family of survivors, and we've always just kind of taken whatever shit's been thrown at us, and we just kind of make the best of it. It's just been that way. My dad came from a working class family in the Bronx, New York, and his dad was a plumber and his mother was a nurse, and they went through hard times, and they went through the Depression, and they fought through it. My uncle was a vet he's an Army veteran in Vietnam, and life wasn't kind to him, but he soldiered through it and wound up working on the Triborough Bridge when the planes hit on 9/11 and went down to ground zero and worked there for 2.5 weeks, and before he couldn't do it anymore. And his life's not been easy since then. It's never really been the same for him since Vietnam, but certainly the illnesses that he incurred after 9/11, the stuff he breathed in, but he always never bitched and just did what he had to do, you know. And so I don't know if it's a DNA thing or what it is, but I've always been like, I've always just rolled with it and adapted. My favorite quote by anyone was by Charles Darwin, and what he says is what he said was, it's not the strongest species or the smartest species that survives. It's the one that can adapt to its changing surroundings. And so that's where we're at right now. But I tell you, I'm in spite of the fact that we're going through a rough time, I wouldn't change my life for anything at this point. I'm particularly my personal life. I've never been in a better place personally. I've never really, I don't really have a lot of regrets in terms of my professional career. I think my path, I wouldn't trade my path for anyone's professionally. I have regrets personally on how I've handled matters of the heart and things in my personal life. There are things I regret. But personally, in my personal life, I've never been in a better place. I really haven't. So, I mean, I know we're going through a hard time, but it's great to see. It's great that I'm facing this with a very supportive family and a good woman, and I have a wonderful daughter and two grandchildren that I can communicate with through videos and forums, media, just like things like this. And it's a tough situation we're in, and it'll be over. And when it's over, it's gonna be great, and we're all gonna be better people for it. I know I'm gonna be a better person from it. I'm gonna do certain things differently. This really slowed me. It's made me more aware that I have to probably be a little more fiscally conservative in the future. I mean, we've been able to survive this now, and we're doing a really good job. But I'm probably not going to buy as much equipment, buy as many guitars as I used to. It's made me a little more responsible in that respect, and it's going to make me a better person when it's over. Once we get a vaccine and we get to hug each other again and hang out with each other again, we're all going to be better people for it, I think. At least people like you and I and the people that we know. Less evolved people, they might not survive this. But I'd like to, I'm going to do my part to make this place better in the meantime, and do my part as a steward of the earth to make things easier for us now in this time. Not going to tell you exactly what, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Of course.
The things that some people think are silly. I'm not wearing, I wear a mask. I choose to wear a mask when I go outside, not because I'm afraid of anybody. It's because I don't want to give it to the next guy. If I have something, I don't want to take the chance of getting you sick. That's what the whole mask thing is for. It's not about protecting us from what's coming at us. It's for protecting our fellow man. And that's the way I have to look. That's the way I look at it. And that's how I'm getting through it.
Yeah, I just have one comment, and then I want Audrey to take over. But in Japan, for a long time, it's been part of the culture that when you're sick or you might expose other people, you wear a mask when you go out in public. So you'll get on a commuter train or the subway and you'll see people with masks. It's not to prevent other people from infecting them. It's because they're so socially conscious, and it's really woven into the social fabric. It's responsibility. I'm hoping we can keep a little bit of that going forward.
What's wrong with that? I mean, I don't see anything wrong with that.
It's a value, though, that we haven't had, and I think it's a great one for us to adopt.
Yeah. I mean, it's just, I mean, and this is only temporary. We'll get through this. So, we got to make a few sacrifices here and there.
So, Albert, you actually have a show this weekend.
We do.
And I know as consumers, as people who go out and buy things, what we're supposed to do to protect ourselves and protect other people. What are you doing as a performer to protect yourself from us? As far as social distancing is concerned, I mean, I know that I've sat close enough to the stage where there's things flying around and, you know,
Sure.
I mean, how are you guys logistically going to do that? What is the safe distance that people should be from you guys? You've obviously talked about this.
Oh yeah. I mean, absolutely. I mean, I'm not jumping into I'm not just jumping into this thing. I mean, I've had to turn down gigs because it was just too soon. I mean, there were other factors. A month ago, I wasn't feeling very well. I'm going to get to your answers eventually is going to come, but I feel like I need to do a preamble
Sure.
to what the answer is. About a month and a half ago, or a month ago, well, actually going back 3 months, I hadn't been feeling good. I've been on the road for a year, put 200 days a year. I think when we were doing our taxes, my wife told me that I was gone 200 days out of the year. Well, that wears on you a little bit. And I was near the end of the year, I was getting kind of worn down. Didn't think anything of it. And then I found out that, as I went to get something checked, I went to go see an orthopedist, my orthopedist, because I have bursitis in my right shoulder. And I got it from a racquetball accident. I went into a wall and I've had bursitis ever since. And so every 6 months I got to get a cortisone shot. And I went in and I had some tingling in my hands, and my orthopedist said, well, let's get that checked out. It might be your neck. Did an x-ray, and he said, well, I think you got an impingement in your C4, C5. You go in for an MRI. Went in for an MRI on my neck and went and saw the orthopedist, and he discovered in the MRI that I had something going on with my thyroid. He said, I see there's a couple of nodules on your thyroid. And I go, well, what is it? Well, it might be nothing, but it might be cancer. Oh, okay. Well, you should get that checked out. And then I had to go in for an ultrasound to get further looked at. And then 3 months went by. I went back out on the road, didn't think anything of it. They never got back to me. I figured it was gone away. It went away. It was nothing. But then I went back to see my orthopedist for something else. And he said, what happened with your thyroid? I said, well, you guys never called me. And it's kind of a little mix up. Went and looked at it. And he said, oh yeah, this looks pretty bad. You're going to have to see somebody, a specialist. So it just so happens I give guitar lessons to an ear, nose, and throat doctor. It's my only client because I don't have time to do lessons. And I called him, and he made an appointment. He went and saw, and he asked me a few questions. And he says, look, I really don't think it's cancer, but you ought to get a biopsy. Well, around that time where I was going through this biopsy thing, the lockdown had happened. And so when you're on lockdown and you don't have a lot to do, you get to thinking a lot of things. You're thinking, okay, I'm run down, I'm tired, and I got a thyroid issue. Maybe it's cancer. Maybe all these things start running through your head. And while that's happening, I'm getting calls from my agency telling me there are venues that want me to play by the end of May. And I'm like, man, I don't know. And so some of them, I'm like, I really need to know what they're going to do in terms of social distancing. Are they going to do what they're going to do? And a lot of these answers came back. They didn't come back very positive. Like these people they didn't believe that this was actually happening. They just didn't feel it was serious enough for them to have people wear masks at these public gatherings or separate and I wasn't comfortable with it. So I turned down a handful of gigs because of that. And then while I was going through this thing with my health, and I hadn't yet to get my biopsy done. my friend Al Poliak at the Funky Biscuit called me, and he was concerned about what was going on with me, and we got to talking about life, and you know, even Dave Shelley's name came up a couple of times, and you know, and then he called me every day for about a week, and then he told me he was thinking about opening up the club at the end of the month. And I said, well, I would love to, but I just don't know. You know, I got to go in for a biopsy, and I don't know what's going on. And I don't know if my immune system is compromised. I don't, you know. He says, well, and then he told me what he was going to do, that he was going to cut the room in half, and he was going to have like 20 tables or 18 tables, something like that. I think 18 tables set up, and he was going to cap the room at 50 or 60. And he was going to take all these precautions. And so I said to him, well, I don't know what the results of the biopsy are going to be yet, but how about I agree in principle to do it? And then if something goes wrong where it is cancer, then I just won't do it, you know? And well, why don't we just do that? Well, I did the biopsy last week, and then around that time he was about to announce that we were going to do this the show. They got the dates mixed up, and it wasn't actually the 29th, the end of the month. It was next week when we're going to have the show, which I was like, oh, okay. I hope these results come out all right, because, you know, it's a little close. So I went to Broward General, and I got to this is great. I went to the hospital, and they made me take the COVID-19 test before I got checked out, and it came up negative. They swabbed my nose. And then a male nurse came up. His name was Alex, and he said, how you doing, sir? I said, fine. My first biopsy. I'm really excited. Thanks for having me. And he said, well, don't worry about it. Hopefully this will be your last, and we'll have you up and playing guitar in no time. I said, what? What do you mean playing guitar in no time? What do you know about me, dude? How do you know I play guitar? And he goes, well, I have a band and I'm a big fan.
Aww.
I'm like, cool.
That's very cool.
Thank you. And then it turns out the doctor that performed the biopsy, his name was Dr. Hudson. The doctor who performed the biopsy is in a band with the nurse. So he looked at, and so I had all these questions in my mind. You know, is this, you know, this thing is near, even if it's benign, is there a possibility they're going to have to operate? It's near the vocal cord. Am I going to, I had all these questions, and well, before I could even answer those questions, he looked and he saw that he said, well, they look benign to me. I think it's benign. I'm pretty sure. He looked at the ultrasound and he's like, yeah, it's nothing. And okay, he goes, well, how is this? All right, that's good. They're benign. Is this biopsy going to affect my vocal cord? I mean, you're going to be digging in? Because no, it's up by the skin and it's nowhere near the vocal cord, and we'll be fine. It's going to, you know, it's going to hurt a little bit in the beginning with but it's going to be fine. And then, so that was good. He didn't think it was cancer. And then 2 days later, I got the nurse, my ENT, his assistant called me and said that the biopsy looked good and that the blood levels look good. And I just had I just met with the doctor today. I did the follow-up with him, and everything's great. So God bless. But man, I had, you know, I was taking the whole thing very seriously about taking gigs, you know, and I've become very choosy, very, what's the word, you know, picky about what gigs I'm going to take. And Al, I mean, I trust Al, you know, and I trust the Biscuit, and they're doing what they're going to do. And I'm going to do my part by bringing my own microphone, you know, and the way he has the room set up, it shouldn't be a problem. And then when I'm done with the gig, I'm going to go outside and stay the hell away from people and not because I want to. I mean, that's a terrible thing for me. I like talking to people. I like hanging with people. Yeah. This whole thing has rendered me mute.
What do you think it's going to be like? How do you feel like you're going to address that? Because I know that's one thing people love to do is come talk to you. And now that you have to stay, at a distance, are you just going to avoid that completely? Or what do you think? You don't even know?
I don't know. I have no idea. But I mean, we have to dip. At some point, we have to do this.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no avoiding it. I can't lock myself in forever. And we have to dip our toes in the water. But what I do know is that Al's going to do everything he can to make sure that this thing is safe. And so if I'm going to dip my toes in the water,
yeah,
it's going to be for somebody who's going to take the steps to make sure that everything's okay. Now, I'm not saying I would be lying if I told you I wasn't nervous. I'm nervous as hell. And I certainly don't blame people for, who are reluctant to come at this time. But I'm ready to, go and dip my toes in the water and see how it is. And believe me, it's going to dictate how I feel from that point on.
It's going to affect all of us. Our first experience is going to have to be something that is a good one for us to come back. And I know Al has gone to extraordinary measures, and you're being careful. And I think people will appreciate just being in your proximity. It's not going to be the same as hugging you or getting that selfie. But I think being in the same place is going to be more meaningful than ever.
I was absolutely. And I think everybody needs to do what they need to do. I was talking about surviving and adapting. Everybody's got to do what they need to do. This thing we're doing this weekend, man, I don't want people to think that they can just come out with. If there are people out there that are sick and feel that they're not ready, do what you need to do. Stay home if you need to stay home. I'm all for that.
There'll be opportunities.
Yeah, but we just have to figure out. We're going to have to gradually figure out how we're going to live between this point and the point we find a vaccine. Okay.
Well, in order for us to figure out how to live, what music should we be listening to?
You know what I've been listening to? I've been listening to a lot of music from people that we've lost recently.
Oh.
I've been listening to a lot. I was listening to a lot of John Prine. And most recently, I was listening to a lot of Little Richard and Lucky Peterson. I listened to a little bit of Lucky. Yeah.
What do you think?
That's what I've been listening to.
What are you thinking of when you listen to these guys? Is it affecting your choice in music going forward?
How do you mean?
Well, in terms of you're surrounded by some of the greats that you just named, and listening in that milieu, is that going to affect the way you're playing coming into your very first public performance?
I'm sure it will. I'm sure I will. I'm sure I'm going to ask the band to bear with me and try to struggle along through a couple of Little Richard songs. I'm going to want to dedicate some songs to those people that meant so much to me. Lucky was a very special musician. I don't know what the circumstances of his death were, but certainly losing him was a big blow. It's tough, man. It's really tough to man. It's really tough to see these people go the way they go. I mean, John Prine. Oh my God. So,
well,
I got to do a song because I'm going to start crying. I got one. You wanted a chaos song, right, Jesse?
Yeah.
This is a song called "Keep on Swinging," and it was inspired by my grandson. And it goes like this. never know where this road is gonna take you. Keep the faith and never let them break you. Don't change nothing to make you see the light. Gotta keep on swinging and do it with all your might. You never know when things will turn your way. You gotta keep on living. Can't win if you don't play. Don't change nothing, turn it all around. Gotta keep on swinging. Don't let them haters get you down. Gotta keep on swinging. Don't let them bastards get you down. Gotta keep on swinging. Don't let them bastards get you down. Gotta keep on swinging. Don't let them bastards get you down. Thank you.
Have you found it's something that's happening amongst a lot of people right now, is that songs are starting to take on new meanings? And are there any songs that you're starting to revisit that maybe you enjoyed playing in the past that you've started playing again during this time?
Wow, that's a great question. I'll have to dig deep for that to think about that one. Well, certainly "Keep on Swinging" is taking on a new meaning.
Yeah,
that one really has. That song was originally intended. It was written because I was just getting to know my new family, and I was talking to my daughter on the phone, and my grandson was like kind of crying or whining about something. I go, "What's his problem? What's the matter with him?" And she goes, "Well, this kid at school told me he drew the letter Y wrong or something. I couldn't remember what the letter was, and he's all upset about it." And I said, "Well, just tell him, just tell him that there's more than one way to draw Y, and that just tell him that kid was full of malarkey or something like that." I used the word malarkey.
Yeah, it dates you a little bit.
Yeah, I might have heard you say that.
Malarkey. And she goes, what? What? Malarkey. Okay, I'll tell him. And you can hear him go, malarkey. And he starts laughing.
Oh,
I go, "Why is he laughing?" He goes, "Because of the word malarkey, it made him laugh." I said, "Well, he missed the point of what I was trying to tell him, but at least he wasn't crying anymore." And that song was like, what I got to think when I got off the phone with her, I got to thinking about, what I missed out on teaching my daughter all these years, because she found me at age 29. I missed out on a lot. I missed a lot. I missed out on giving lessons to my daughter, and one of them would have been like, don't let anybody tell you you can't be what you want to be or do what you want to do, and don't let anybody tell you what Don't let anybody get in your way of what you want to be. And that's kind of what that song represented to me. And now, it represents, to me, it represents fighting through this setback that we have, and getting through it. That's what it means. It's taken on a new meaning, which is great, because I think my songwriting is improving, and when you can write a song that can have multiple meanings, I think that's a sign that you're getting it right in terms of writing songs. So I think I'm getting there with that. You know who's great at writing songs like this? Graham Drought. Graham wrote a song called "The Day the Old Man Died." It was actually originally written as "The Day Chuck Berry Died," but Chuck Berry hadn't died yet. This song was written 20 years ago, but what Graham was trying to write was that Chuck Berry was a metaphor for rock and roll was dying. And I said, look, man, and he wanted me to record this song. And I'm like, I'm not comfortable recording a song about somebody who's not dead. And we're saying he's dead. And I'm not comfortable, because Chuck Berry's going to beat up the singer, not the songwriter, So I said, look, so we changed it to "Day the Old Man Died." He changed the name, and that's how I sang it all these years. And everybody loves that song because it reminds them of a loved one that they lost, or a parent they lost. This guy came and saw me. He drove 2,000 miles to see my show in Kansas City, and he said "The Day the Old Man Died" was his favorite song ever because it reminded him of his dad. And he remembered playing that song for his dad before he died. He loved the song, and then his dad passed away. But that's not even what the song was intended. That's not what Graham was writing about. But it touched someone in a different way.
Can you sing that for us, Albert?
"Day the Old Man Died"?
Yeah. Yeah. I've heard you play it acoustic before.
Well, okay.
I know you can do it.
Okay.
I mean, the guy drove 2,000 miles to hear you play it. We need you to.
Well, I don't want to make it easy for him. Now you can just watch it. Now.
I don't know about that.
I'll do it.
There's nothing like the real thing.
Texas in a hell-bound El Dorado, just east of El Paso, running low on gasoline. Went to the station on the way to my destination. Check the oil, check the tires, wipe the windshield clean. In a couple hours, I was way beyond the border. Had a hacksaw on my shotgun laying by my side. Then when they asked me just what I could remember, I cried just like a freight train on the day the old man died. Oh, what a day. Oh, what a day. Everything seems so different since the old man passed away. I saw a blind man selling paintings by the roadside, books of Revelation and portraits of the king. And I rode on by just like it didn't matter, just like I didn't notice, just like it didn't mean a thing. Somewhere near St. Louis, there's a coffee-colored casket, many people weeping in a chapel in the pines. Grief hangs through the air just like a summer rain cloud. I felt just like a criminal on the day the old man died. Oh, what a day. Oh, what a day. Everything seems so different since the old man passed away. Shot a man in Reno just to watch him live. Spent his whole life trying to track me down. Had to keep moving, that's just what I did. City to city,
state to state and town to town. Did some time on the railroad where I had to watch my back. What I couldn't steal, I used to toss out on the track. Now I did all my dirty business on the slide. Felt just like a hot shot on the day the old man died. Oh, what a day. Oh, what a day. How some things never change, especially at the diners, always chicken and a biscuit. Makes me kind of crazy how some things stay the same. It's always there exactly where I left it. There's a preacher on the radio saying I will be forgiven. God forgives most everything I do, and that ain't no lie. I'm crawling across Texas, now I'm halfway up to heaven. Felt the Spirit touch me on the day the old man died. Oh, what a day. Oh, what a day. Everything seems so different since the old man passed away. Oh, what a day. I cried and cried and cried on the day the old man died.
Oh yeah, what a great lyricist!
Yeah,
and
right?
you bring it to life so beautifully, Albert.
He is the greatest songwriter I know. I think he's as good as any songwriter out there. I think he's as good as Bob Dylan or John Hyatt or Randy Newman. You know, the fact that he never got the recognition doesn't make it not so. I mean, it doesn't mean he isn't. He is as good as any of them. I love his music. I love his writing.
You know, I've been thinking as I've been listening to you, and I know everyone around the world is enjoying this so much and feels so much better since they tuned in. When you first came and recorded with me, which was in 2012 when we first started, and I was recording it on a little 2012 MacBook Pro with a USB mic or two and a tiny camera, you played I Shall Be Released.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
And I can't think of a song from your catalog that you've played on our show that would perhaps be more important than that one is now.
Yeah. Are you trying to tell me something?
I think it's a hint. It might be. It's very subtle.
Just bear with me. I want to make sure my phone doesn't crap out.
Okay.
I'm going to plug this in. And please pay no mind to my fat rolls. I found out at the doctor today that I gained 6 pounds. And
well, maybe that'll help you weather any illness that's to come. Let's hope you don't get sick, but just in case, you're protected.
I mean, your shirt does say meat on it.
No, it's heat.
Oh, heat.
It doesn't say meat. It's Miami Heat. See, it's so fat. I changed the H into M. Gotten so fat.
I just can't
Thanks
read.
a lot, Audrey.
It should say meat.
Thanks a lot, Audrey. Thanks a lot.
I meant nothing
Miami
by it.
Heat. Oh, God.
I meant nothing by it.
I'm singing the blues now.
Put some more meat on those bones.
I used to play a lot of Bob Dylan with my sister when we were kids. Bob Dylan has been a constant in my life. When I was first learning how to play guitar, my uncle taught me my first 3 chords. And he lived in Miami. He lived in my grandmother's house, and then he left. He got his own place. He moved out, and he left me a Bob Dylan songbook that had chords on the back of the book, and that's how I learned the rest of the chords.
They say everything can be replaced. They say every distance is not near. But I remember every face of every man who put me here. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. They say every man needs protection. They say that every man must fall. But I swear I see my reflection somewhere so high above this wall. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. There stands a man in this lonely crowd, a man who swears he's not to blame. I could hear him screaming oh so loud, crying out that he'd been framed. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall be released. I see my light come shining from the west down to the east. Any day now, any day now, I shall
Thank you, Albert.
Thank you. You're welcome.
Wow.
You.
We all have some deep connections here that not everyone watching is going to realize. Albert has been on my show more than any other musician. You've been with me from the start, and I appreciate your being along for the ride through.
I got you. Thank you for the kindness you've shown to me and my family. It means a lot.
Well, I appreciate it. And Audrey and Michael Wolf have done more multi-camera videos of your performances than anyone in the world. I mean, we really
go back many moons and many Junes ourselves. Yes. I love them very much as well.
Well, we really appreciate this connection and that you've shared this with our worldwide audience. You brought a lot of hope and a lot of good things to think about to people who are in a lot of trouble right now. So thank you very much for doing this.
You're welcome. I mean, the people have done as much for me as even more so than I've done for them. I mean, this whole thing is a shared experience. Without people listening, it'd be pretty dull. And my fans and just music fans in general have been great to me over the years, and I'm just very grateful to be doing this for a living, and if this helps people get through what we're going through now, I feel great about it then.
Okay, I've got two more important matters that we need to discuss. Audrey had raised. What's up with the peacocks?
Yeah, the baby peacocks.
That was another part of our upsetting day yesterday.
Oh.
We had a very upsetting day yesterday. And so there was this peacock who laid like 5 eggs right in front of our house next to our porch. And it has been, what do they call it? When they sit on them and incubate them. There's a word for it. Well, she's been nesting on them for like a month. And 3 of them hatched, and I don't know what happened to the other one. I guess another one hatched later on, but she left. And she left yesterday, and my wife was distraught over it, and she thought something was wrong, and because they were just like they weren't fazed by us at all. They weren't scared of us. We'd walk out, and they'd be sitting in front of the door at the porch and just let us walk by, and they were super cool. Her name was Estelle. The mother was named her. We named her Estelle. And then I guess Michelle named the little chicks Huey, Dewey, and Louie. And I don't know what the other one was. The other name of the other one was Shlomo, I think. I don't remember. But they left. They split. They're not with us anymore. They left. And she just kept thinking the worst yesterday of them. Like, oh my God, something must have happened. I seen feathers all over the place.
Oh no.
I was like, no, they probably flew. She probably flew. She probably flew she probably put them on her back and flew away.
Yeah, she was waiting for things to reopen. That's all it was. It's nothing bad there.
No, it's nature. I said it's nature. Just like don't worry. But yeah, we've had a peacock thing going on here for about 10 years. We had a neighbor in our old neighbor from 10, 15 years ago, collected birds. He decided he's going to leave town, but not before he lets a couple of them loose. And so he and I hated them in the beginning. I hated them. They're beautiful, beautiful birds, but they're the nastiest little bastards. They crap on your porch. They dig their talons in your car. They get in your garden and they pick at your stuff. They're just nasty. But they're it's like dating a supermodel. You've got this beautiful woman full of issues. They're tearing up your car and your garden and you're crapping on your porch. And so it took some getting used to. I hated them. And then, but we were stuck with them because the town we live in is considered a what do they call it? A reserve, a preserve. The city of Wilton Manors is considered a preserve, a nature preserve. So they could not be removed. They wouldn't move them. And so we just dealt with them. And then we got used to them over time. And if they got near my car, I'd just throw water at them and then they'd go away and then they'd come back. But this particular bird, Estelle, she was really cool. She's just perched next to the porch. it got to the point where even our dog got used to her, and didn't phase her when we go out and walk her. She wouldn't go after her, nothing.
Wow.
So yeah, that's the thing. It's a peacock thing.
Okay. Well,
now, we went from hating them to now mourning their leaving.
all right. Well, now here's the second thing, and you've kind of led me to this. You have showed us in our sound check that there's a very special one-word call that gets Ella coming every time. This is a family TV show. We're going to bleep this out, but I'm hoping you can demonstrate. No, Audrey says no. Okay.
No, we're not going to bleep it out.
We're not going to bleep it out.
No, this is the blues, man.
Okay.
Swear away.
Well, it's not a family TV
So my
show.
dog Ella, she's the sweetest dog ever. We're boxer owners. Ever since I moved in with Michelle 17 years ago, we've been boxer owners. That was, in fact, when I went to pick Michelle up on our first date, I didn't know she had a dog, and we had like this glass door, and this boxer just charged the door, and I was frightened. And her name was Jessie. And then we had her when I moved in, 6 months after we dated, I moved in, and I just fell in love with her, and we've had boxers ever since. So this one is a brindle. I've never had a brindle before. And her name is Ella. I named her after Ella Fitzgerald. She's my favorite jazz singer. I wanted to name her Aretha, but Aretha had just passed away, and our old dog had just passed away, and I just didn't feel right naming her Aretha, so I named her Ella. But she doesn't respond to when I call her by her name. But when I scream the F word, she comes a-running. I'm going to demonstrate.
Don't say it.
Hi.
There's Ella.
Hi.
They wanted me to demonstrate how Ella comes running.
Hi.
Hi. We want to say to Michelle too. Hi, Michelle.
Michelle isn't dressed properly if we come up.
Oh, well, hi.
She's in a nightgown.
Yeah. Do we look like we're dressed
Can I
properly?
do it again? Because that might have been like the door might have set her off. But watch this. Fuck! Oh, come to the rescue.
I can't see her, though.
Rescue.
We can't see her.
Here she is.
Just I know.
Wait a minute. Come here, Ella Bella. Ella Bella, Bing Bing.
Oh my gosh. Aw,
There's
big
Ella.
baby. There you go. Oh, look at that face.
What a sweet face.
Look at this face.
That's how mushy
Look
it
at
is.
Look at this. Look at that face.
Oh.
Yeah, you can tell she's a good singer.
She looks just like her daddy. All right, you go now. Goodbye.
Yeah. How beautiful. Thank you for sharing this important secret with us. Now we'll know how to get our pets to come.
Yes, that's the secret, apparently.
It's a one-word solution. Who
she
thought?
also likes
right?
her taint rubbed.
Oh, would you like to demonstrate that for
Well,
us?
I can't move the camera. That she's right. I'm rubbing it right now.
Oh, you are? Okay, we'll just have to imagine then what it's like.
Goodbye.
Yeah.
Go to mommy.
Yeah, this is why they invented radio theater.
Yes.
Thank you, Albert. What, you going to play something else?
No, I was just. I don't want it to fall. No, I don't want to play anymore.
Okay.
I want to talk some more. No,
Okay. Well, let's
we're
talk
good.
some more.
You have any more questions? I like these thought-provoking questions I'm getting.
No, why don't you ask us questions?
How are you guys holding up? How's Michael, by the way? I haven't seen him in a while.
Michael is doing really well. He was very motivated to get, caught up on stuff, but that has since, turned into him just organizing hard drives and getting files. I mean, we have so much stuff that has not even been organized. It's just raw footage. So, it's a massive undertaking.
I know because he contacted when I posted a video that Mike Shivers had done for me in Memphis that he wanted to use as a regular like a music video for Masterpiece, but but it didn't we couldn't sync. It didn't sync. It was a live video, and it didn't have the music from the album, and the label kind of wanted me to do an actual music video with the lip syncing and everything. So the video never went anywhere. And then I decided I was going to release it on the eve of the Blues Music Awards. Oh. And it's me on acoustic doing Heavy, the song Heavy. And I christened my YouTube channel with that video. And then Michael reached out to me shortly after I posted it on Facebook and said that he was going to, if I want to know if I'd post some of the Dat Flies performance videos on the YouTube channel. So I'm waiting.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thanks. I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
You got more than 3 songs out of me, I believe.
I think we did 4. I wasn't counting.
We did 4.
I mean,
we did 4.
Yeah.
We did 4, and thank you for that. No, I appreciate it. It means a lot, and we've gotten great feedback.
You conned me into doing. What are you talking about? You conned me. I didn't do that.
Your arm.
This is usually the way it works. Yeah, with everybody watching, shame you into another song. That's the usual protocol. But you offered it up, man. So
I did.
Thank you. Very kind of you.
You're welcome. I love you guys.
We love you.
Too.
Thanks.
Take care. Get something to eat, man.
All right. Be well.
Enjoy your dinner.
Bye. I will.